Mike, when you think about a night like this where you know it's going to be close, how do you assess the way your team performed, but also when you look at what happened in overtime, like what did you think was sort of the difference in terms of things started off strong but ultimately didn't end your way?
I thought our team competed extremely hard all night long, and it was a tremendous hockey game, fast pace. This is the fastest hockey that I've ever been a part of the whole tournament. Tonight was no different. You look at the overtime, we had 3 or 4 grade A looks. We don't score. They get an icing and they score. I don't know that we can dissect it any more than that. It was a pretty even hockey game where both teams had momentum at different times. I thought it was an incredible display of hockey on both sides. This is the very best of the best out there. There was no room to make plays. Just a commitment to play defense, both teams. I just thought it was a tremendous hockey game.
Stay in the same row.
Mike, Brady was just saying that this is a feeling that he's going to remember for the next year until he gets to Milan. I mean, this group really came together really quickly, starting with that team dinner in Montreal. How much are you looking forward to just seeing the growth here the next year of these players to get back on the ice?
Yeah, they were a great group to coach. It was an incredible honor to coach these guys. There's a lot of familiarity and relationships that these guys have, from whether it's playing at the National Development Program or a lot of these guys have played together in international play, even though they might play on separate teams in the NHL. We could tell early on as a coaching staff that these guys really enjoyed being around one another, and I think that chemistry carried on to the ice. So we've talked to them from day one. I shared this with you guys that we felt one of the biggest challenges in tournaments like this is to become a team, and I thought they did an incredible job. You have to accept roles that maybe you're not accustomed to playing when you put a group of players like this together. To a man, every guy brought so much professionalism, was willing to play any sort of role to try to help the team win. Couldn't be more proud of this group. And I thought, just to be around them, you could feel how much they cared, not only about performance but also about one another.
Right side, fourth row.
Mike, hey, Bill from NHL.com. Can you talk about Austin's game tonight, and is there something you learned about him, coaching him in these couple games?
Yeah, I thought this was Austin's best. He's just a dynamic player. I've said the last couple of days, just when people have asked me about him, the thing that I think has jumped out at me the most is his 200-foot game. His commitment to play defense, play away from the puck. He has a mature game. He has a game that's conducive to winning, and he has elite talent. And so, he has a quiet confidence about him and how he leads. He's not a rah-rah guy, but I think his presence influences the group. It was really a pleasure from my standpoint to get to know him personally, because I didn't really know him very well up until this experience, and to be around him and to get to know him was a lot of fun for me. He's a great kid. He's a terrific hockey player, and it sure was fun to be around him.
Right side, second row.
Mike, are you proud of what your team did to help elevate hockey and add some spotlight? And are you proud of the way your guys handled being in that spotlight over the past few days?
We sure are proud of this group, and that's one of the things I said to him after the game is, I think this tournament and this game has had a huge impact on the growth of hockey. I think these guys inspired the next generation, and the way they play the game, their commitment, the passion, all the elements of sports were on display. And so for me, I couldn't be more proud of the team and the group. As good as talented as they are, they carry themselves with humility. And for me, I think that's there's a lot to be said for that. That speaks volumes of the character of the people. But I think that's hockey. I think, my experience of being around NHL players is that there's a humility to them that for me is impressive. And this group of American players, I think they instill a certain amount of American pride. They had a lot of people rooting for them across the United States tonight, and for good reason. They deserved it. They earned that through their play, how they carry themselves off the ice. They're incredible role models for that next generation. And for me, that might be the highest compliment, that you can inspire the next generation the way they did. These guys are terrific players and they're great people.
We'll take two more. Left side, first row.
Mike, Dylan Larkin was really direct in there and saying, I hope something like this is a recruitment tool, that guys who may have been not interested in playing in the World Championships, they see this and think maybe this is something they want to do because of the pride that comes with representing flag and country. How do you hope something like this maybe takes those guys who are maybe on the fence about doing this and shows them, like, no, you want to be here in 2026?
Well, it would be hard if anybody that watched this tournament, it would be hard not to get excited about participating in it. That's what I think. If you love hockey, it would be hard not to get excited. This was an electric atmosphere, both in Montreal and here in Boston. Both cities did a tremendous job. It was just it was an incredible privilege to be a part of it, quite honestly. And the hockey might have been the best hockey that I've ever been associated with. It certainly was the fastest, without a doubt. We just marvel sometimes at what these guys do on the ice and at the pace they do it. And as I said this morning, these guys are the savants of the game. The game evolves because of their creativity and how they think the game, and some of the things they're able to do at such a high rate of speed. It's remarkable. And I just have so much respect for the players in today's game. And so we couldn't be more proud of this American group. And I strongly believe that they inspired a lot of people. The next generation for sure, but I'm sure they inspired their peers also to want to be a part of something like this.
Last one, that same row.
If I can ask two, since it's the last one. one, I'm sure it's impossible to keep Matthew Tkachuk out of a game like this, but in hindsight, do you maybe wish he didn't play? And the other one is, it sure feels like you found a shutdown defense pair in Sullivan and Faber in a year from now. How good were they in the two games against Canada?
So Sullivan and Faber were tremendous. The whole tournament, when we put them together, we were hoping that would be a defense pair that would be hard to play against, and they were. I thought they do yeoman's work. They do the thankless jobs. They defend against the best players. Their contributions don't always show up on the highlight reel, but it just adds up to winning. And you need those type of players. They're glue guys. They're the type of guys that help teams win. And that's why they're here. But I thought they both had tremendous tournaments. Jacob Sullivan might be one of the best defending defensemen in the league, bar none. His mobility, his size, his reach, he defends the rush. He's great at the net front. And Brock Faber, in my mind, is an emerging star. How old is he? 22. He's and the stage wasn't too big for a guy like that. I was so impressed with his maturity. I thought those guys were terrific. Matthew Tkachuk has an impact on our team in such a way that even if he wasn't 100% and we weren't able to utilize him for a lot of the game, his presence on the bench and in the locker room means so much to this group. He's all heart. He's a heart and soul guy. So isn't his brother. I think these guys were such a huge part of the leadership group. They're just high character people. They have an insatiable appetite to win, and it's contagious. I think they help our team confidence. I think they help build our team swagger. And for all those reasons, I was glad he was on our bench tonight.